quietly put together two ridiculously good seasons on the wing with the Lakers, playing alongside guys like LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and now Luka Doncic, means he's got to be ready to convert when his number is called, and it's not going to be as often, but he has been the ideal two-way role player on the wing that fits perfectly next to those guys. He's putting up 13 points and 5 rebounds per game, but he's been a hyper-efficient scorer, hitting 51% of his shots and 41% of his threes, spacing the floor and taking advantage of his opportunities when they come to him. Next at number 19, we have Devin Vassell of the San Antonio Spurs. Vassell was steadily improving throughout the first 4 years of his career, demonstrating an ability to score in a plethora of ways that may not have been expected of him when he was drafted, and on a lowly rebuilding Spurs team, he got all the leeway to play freely and make mistakes back then. Last year was really the first season where the Spurs were trying to compete, and it also happened to be a season where Vassell regressed a bit, which is a little concerning. So while he still is a solid two-way wing, we're hoping he can bounce back next season, scoring the ball a bit more efficiently, with real playoff expectations for this team. Next at number 18, we have Aaron Nesmith of the Indiana Pacers. Nesmith just balled out in the playoffs with some marquee moments that played a major part in the Pacers making it all the way to the NBA Finals this year. He's one of the league's great sharpshooters, hitting 43% of his threes this past season, and he can get hot in a hurry. He's a battle-proven winner now who showed he can handle the pressure and bright lights of playoff basketball, and he does all this while also typically defending the opposing team's best perimeter player. Next at number 17, we have Andrew Wiggins of the Miami Heat. We're now starting to hit the tier of the position where all of the guys mentioned are either proven high-level performers, accomplished playoff performers, or both. Wiggins is a champion who revived his career with the Warriors, but the last 2 seasons have been less spectacular for Wiggins. He's not quite the defender that he was a few seasons ago, and he struggled mightily in the playoffs this year against the Cavaliers, but in general, he's still a middle-of-the-pack starting small forward, capable of some big games here and there. Next at number 16, we have Paul George of the Philadelphia 76ers. George has been one of the best players at this position for a very long time, but last year, we started to see the wheels fall off a bit on his career. He had what was easily the worst season he has had in over a decade, averaging just 16 points on mediocre shooting splits. He was hardly ever healthy, playing only 41 games, and after Philly signed him to a massive contract, they desperately need him to bounce back next season to justify the money that they're paying him. Next at number 15, we have Cameron Johnson of the Denver Nuggets. Johnson is coming off of the best season of his career with the Nets, having averaged 19 points per game, doing his usual work as a lethal three-point shooter, but also demonstrated more of an ability to attack off the dribble and create for himself to boost his stock even more. He's been one of the better 3-and-D wings in the league for a few years now, and with his growth as a creator, the Nuggets just scooped him up in a trade this summer, expecting him to fit perfectly next to Nikola Jokic for his work off the ball and ability to be a dominant catch-and-shoot guy. Next at number 14, we have DeMar DeRozan of the Sacramento Kings. DeRozan was brought to Sacramento as a desperate attempt to get the team back into the playoffs, but in the end, he provided what he's been providing for a few years now: empty calories. DeRozan is an undeniably talented scorer and is one of the last of a dying breed of mid-range assassins, making tough shots look easy, with terrific footwork and a smooth pull-up jumper. But he's still not a willing three-point shooter 16 years into his career. He's never been a great defender, and the Kings' outlook didn't change much at all with him in town. Next at number 13, we have Brandon Miller of the Charlotte Hornets. Miller was on track to break out in a big way in his second season before an injury shut him down after just 27 games, but in those games, he was averaging 21 points per game. He's one of the few players that actually plays defense in Charlotte too, so he's doing all he can to try to change the culture there, and while he does need to improve his efficiency as a scorer, he's much further along than most people expected he would be through 2 seasons, with so much more room for growth when he's back healthy. Next at number 12, we have Cooper Flagg of the Dallas Mavericks. I know, this is a lot for a player that hasn't even played a single NBA game yet. For the most part, I've kept rookies near the bottom of these lists for a reason, but Flagg is just different than the rest of this class. I truly believe his floor as a player is a high-level starter that will make a positive two-way impact from day one, and he should definitely be in a favorable position to take home this year's Rookie of the Year award. In Dallas, he'll be heavily featured, and he could end up helping the team make the playoffs. So from my perspective, I think there's a better chance that this ranking ends up looking like a lowball in 1 year than an overreaction. Next at number 11, we have Denny Avdia of the Portland Trail Blazers. Denny is primed for a breakout this season because he already flashed what he could do in a leading role in the second half of last year. After being traded to Portland last summer, it took him some time to settle into his new team, but between Christmas and the end of the season, Denny was averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, shooting 50% from the field and 37% from 3, all while being a great defender too. And if he's able to keep that level of play up over a whole season, he could end up in All-Star game conversations. Now to start off the top 10 small forwards today, we have Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks. Bridges is a high-level perimeter defender that has thrived in a bunch of different roles throughout his career. Early on with the Suns, he was primarily a secondary scoring option, spacing the floor and locking up opposing teams' best players. Then he went to Brooklyn, where he got more of a green light to score and showed he could put up 20 points per game. But the role he's in right right now in New York is probably the one that he is most suited for. He can attack closeouts and pull up with a strong mid-range game. He's still giving you 18 points per game while not being required to score big every night. The slight dip in his three-point shooting, though, is worth monitoring. Otherwise, he's a big part of the Knicks core that just came off of a conference finals appearance. Next at number 9, we have Trey Murphy of the New Orleans Pelicans. With Zion Williamson continuing to struggle with injuries and the core of the Pelicans slowly being phased out to start a new chapter, Murphy has quietly been emerging as the team's best player. He's been a phenomenal volume three-point shooter throughout his career while using his length to defend hard, and after being a raw talent early in his career, he's learning how to put them physical tools to use. He broke out last season putting up 21 points per game, with a much improved handle, sharper finishing skills, and a pull-up jumper utilized more often than in years past. So with the trajectory that he is on, he could end up being a borderline all-star in his prime as well. Next at number 8, we have Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. Johnson's another wing player that was having a big breakout season last year, and it flew way under the radar. Unfortunately, injury ended his season after 36 games, but in those games, he was averaging 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, serving as a bit of a point forward at times, using his big body to crash the glass well, and immediately being able to push the pace in transition and generate easy baskets for either himself or others. And he did all of this while being one of the team's best defenders, too. Next at number 7, we have Brandon Ingram of the Toronto Raptors. Ingram's career hasn't quite hit the levels many expected him to hit early in his career, with his scoring ability being so obvious, but his assertiveness not always being there. His decision-making has come under question at times, and he hasn't been able to provide the winning impact as much as Pelicans fans hoped he would. Now that he's in Toronto, he's hoping for a fresh start with a group pushing to get back into the playoff picture, and if everything goes right, he may end up being back in all-star conversations for the first time since 2020. Next at number 6, we have Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. With Paolo Banchero struggling through injuries last season, Franz was thrust into a lead role for a good portion of it, and he exploded with the opportunity. He posted a career-high 24 points and 5 assists per game, while also strength to get to the paint with ease. He's the benefit of the doubt with an incredible reputation for playing his best basketball in the most important moments, and while his per-game averages may not look quite as impressive as other incredible Red 5. Next up at number 5, we have Jimmy Butler of the Golden State Warriors. Jimmy gets the benefit of the doubt with an incredible reputation for playing his best basketball in the most important moments, and while his per-game averages may not look quite as impressive as other players near the top of today's list, the Warriors were looking scary after trading for him, and with a full season of Jimmy Butler on the team, they're expecting better results for good reason. They took down the 2-seed Rockets in the playoffs behind some big outings from Butler, and if Steph Curry didn't go down in round 2, there may have been more noise to be made. Next, at number 4, we have Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. The 2024 NBA Finals MVP is going to get his first season-long taste of being a team's number 1 option with Jason Tatum out injured, so this is a big year for him coming up. He's been one of the best number 2s in the NBA, averaging nearly 27 points per game at his best in 2023, so it's reasonable to expect him to be able to get back to posting numbers like that in a Celtics season that is otherwise looking to be a wash. Next, at number 3, we have Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers. The story with Kawhi over the last few seasons has been his struggles with injury at inopportune times. Last month and a half of the regular season, Kawhi was averaging 26 points per game, shooting 53% from the field and 43% from 3, and even though the Clippers lost in the first round of the playoffs. Next at number 2, we have Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jalen Williams is young, he's sturdy, he's efficient, and he is an absolute beast on both ends of the floor. He was the NBA champion Thunder's number 2 scoring option next to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he silenced a lot of doubters in the NBA Finals with a big-time 40 ball on the biggest stage. He's an all-star, he got named to the All-NBA third team, and he was named to the All-Defense team this day. With a resume to back forward in the game today, we have Kevin Durant of the Houston Rockets. KD started his career playing small forward, has played a lot more power forward as of late, but in Houston, their front court is jam-packed, so he's going to be moved back to the 3. KD is one of the greatest scoring talents the game has ever seen, still casually averaging about 27 points per game on ridiculous efficiency, making 53% of his shots and 43% of his threes. And now, he's giving Houston lacking in from a go-to scoring threat. The